got quite a few people joined in now, so we can give you the cue to start recording, and we'll get going. So thank you guys all for joining us today. We're really happy to have you guys come on and do the True Colors CEU with Lindsay and I. We are super excited about this. If you saw Lindsay and I posting about it on social media, we've been sharing how excited we are about the new colors for 2021 and 2022. So if you guys don't know us, Lindsay is the Karndean sales rep out in BC, and I am the marketing and communications manager here at our head office in Burlington. So if you know a little bit about Karndean or you don't know anything at all, just a quick intro on who we are. So at Karndean Design Flooring, we see flooring differently. So we sell what we call design flooring. So it actually is luxury vinyl in 3 different formats: loose lay, rigid core, and glue down. But we sell it in stone looks and wood looks as well. So what we do a little bit differently than some of our other manufacturers out there is we actually source the original pieces of wood or stone. We do whatever the wood guys do. We scorch it, we lime it, we smoke it to get the look that we want. And then essentially we put it in a more practical material, which is luxury vinyl. And then we're all about design flooring, laying patterns, design strips, all that fun stuff. So if you ever want to know a little bit more about our product, Lindsay's your girl there out on the West Coast. And if we have anyone joining from outside of BC, let us know and we can connect you with a local rep throughout Canada. So Lindsay, I'll let you jump right into the CEU.
Perfect.
If my mouse will let me click to the next one. There we go.
Awesome. Yeah, so thank you all so much for taking the time to join us this afternoon, this nice, if you're in Vancouver, smoky afternoon. So this CEU is called True Colors 2021 and 2022. And you might be wondering where these colors come from. Well, color professionals from all over North America come together at regional workshops, and those are called chromosomes, to present their local research and geographical vision as to color direction. When all the chromosomes are completed, the palettes that are submitted by each zone are reviewed by the CMG steering committee, and the color parallels that inevitably emerge from region to region are validated at the summit meeting and then become the forecasted colors for the next 2 years. So keep in mind that the CMG is an international color forecasting organization, and separate palettes are developed for Europe, Latin America, and Asia Pacific. And today's CEU, we're going to only focus on that North American forecast. And it's really important for you guys as interior designers, as retailers, contractors, and whomever else we're lucky enough to have on here this afternoon, to know what these trends are going to be and to start visualizing how you're going to incorporate them into your future designs. This CEU, I think at least, will really put you one step ahead, and we're really excited to showcase some inspiration on how to use these colors in some of your future designs.
Absolutely. And for those of you guys who are interior designers or architects, this is an approved CEU, so you can register this and get your credits that you're probably looking for as well. So again, Lindsay will have her contact information at the end of this slide, and you can send her a quick note to make sure that we get you your CEU credit there. So today we are going to go through a couple different things. So Lindsay told you a little bit about what the CEU is. It's obviously the color forecast for 2021 and 2022. So our goal is to show you this emerging color palette. We're going to discuss the in-depth key drivers that are responsible for these color directions. And they are actually done through 3 incredible color stories that apply to what's going on in the world today and what we can see in the future. So we'll go through those 3 color stories, and then within each story, there's their own little mini palette of designs. So you're not only going to see the colors, but we're also going to give you visual examples of how these colors will come to life in residential and commercial applications. And then after the CEU, Lindsay will send out a nice little worksheet for you as well that has the whole palette there in case you guys need it for any of your designs.
Awesome. So like I was talking about before, the chromosomes, this sheet here just kind of showcases how it's all done. So at the top you have all of the research that we do in the different zones, and then it's again filtered through the summit meetings, and then all of the different regions come up with their own palette colors. So this is just a little visualization of actually how we come up with those colors.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, so like all of what Lindsay was saying in terms of that research So you can see at the top, it's talking about the shifts, the attitudes, the change from global to different trends that and direction. So it's taking so much different information from different pieces and pulling it into color, which is such a neat way to think about it.
Of course, all of the in-person CMG workshops had to become virtual workshops this year due to a little thing we know as COVID-19. So it was definitely a little bit more challenging to complete our goal, but each location was very successful in concluding 12 forecasted colors for their geographical areas. And I am so proud of Canada. We have Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver that all had an impactful footprint on these color trends. So without further ado, let's jump in and start with our first color story. All right, so the first one is called Beautiful Waste. So renewable materials and rethinking of how we use everything is really key. We're entering a time in which we've collectively become more aware of what we consume, and we're coming up with ways to reduce waste. Beautiful Waste is all about becoming more conscious of what we're consuming and how we can repurpose our waste. At Karndean, it's really important to us that we reduce our environmental impact, which is why we ensure that all of our products are 100% recyclable. And we really pride ourselves on the fact that our life expectancy of our products exceeds 12 years. As 2021 approaches, we as a collective have begun to embrace our trash. We reconsider what's possible, build economic opportunities to create something new and create something beautiful with our waste. So let's get into the colors. Here are all 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I was gonna say, I was like, I thought I used 5 there, yeah.
I'm learning about colors today, this year, and also learning how to count. It's really a great year.
It's a big year, big year. Yeah, so this is the color palette there that Lindsay was talking about for Beautiful Waste. So these are the colors you can expect to see, and we're gonna dive right into each one individually. So the first color here is called Beautiful Waste, or from the Beautiful Waste collection, and it's called Paper Bag. So Paper Bag is this beautiful statement beige color. I'm in love with this. I've used this all over my house already, so I'm happy to see that it's going to stay on trend for 2021 and 2022. But really, it represents this kind of recycling, sustainability kind of color. When I think of this, obviously it's named Paper Bag, but you think about doing arts and crafts and different projects with your kids with paper bags, paper mache, that kind of thing. So it's really a classic beige with like a subtle red influence in there, and it can ground really any interior. So we're going to see how this color works in residential and commercial settings. So you can see it here, and there's a beautiful living room. I wish my living room looked like this. So yeah. You can see it here in the flooring. So Paper Bags represented in the flooring in this hickory floor. This is classic hickory, actually from the Art Select collection in the Karndean collection. So you can find this in our designs. But you can see how Paper Bag is shown throughout the base of the floor and really grounding the space, and then letting you use other kind of interior design elements throughout. And what I love about Paper Bag is you can turn it, different tints and shades of that same color. You can see it throughout the floor. So you can see it get a little bit lighter and a little bit darker throughout the whole floor, and see how it can come to life and how you can use that one color in so many different ways, and it can take on other colors, other shades and tints. Again, I wish my backyard looked like this. Oh my gosh. So a beautiful backyard. Paper Bag, you can see, has come to life with the paint of the walls and kind of that shimmer that comes out when it gets lit up with all this beautiful lighting in the backyard. So you guys being out on the West Coast, you spend a lot of time outdoors when it's not raining and out on the beach. This is a great color for interiors and exteriors in your area.
Beautiful. So this one is Mist. This is one of my favorite colors in the new color palette, and it was actually chosen as CMG's key color for 2021-2022. The emerging mist will offer a cleansing breath. It'll overcome any sense of steamy deterioration to redefine this pale blue, filling it with positivity and light. Mist is drawn from nature, and it's a super cool color for the next few years. It can actually lower body temperatures when used in larger expanses. So we will look and see how it's used. So I love it here. You can see, especially in the West Coast here, we're really about that cool vibe, a lot of outdoorsy colors, but this one's a very calm mist color. So I think, dusk almost, or very, very early in the morning. You see this color in our sky all the time. It's meant to be soothing, and it really tempers the stresses of our everyday lives. And you can see the exact color mist captured here in these dining chairs. And I really love how this creates a calming, sophisticated setting with a little pop of color. It's not too much, but it's definitely, you know, it gives something extra to this room.
Absolutely. I do love that color. I can't wait to figure out how I can use it in my space. But I have to say this next color is, again, a color I'm already using, so I'm super excited.
You're so on trend,
urban.
Michelle.
Well, I don't know where, I mean, I think it's because all the furniture companies are ready and showing these colors, ready to see what's coming out. And I just started my renovations recently.
Yeah.
So Urban Rust, it's a beautiful color that's come. It's kind of that deep orange color. And what I love about Rust and how they've described it here as well is it has this way of telling a story of this passage of time, right? Of how long something's been there. And that's when Rust comes to life. But it can also have this kind of optimistic twist for creativity and imagination. As Lindsay was saying, it's all about beautiful waste. So just because something's rusted doesn't mean you need to throw it away. You can recycle it and use it in different ways. So this is one of those colors. And it is shown in the best way here, this beautiful piece here. So you can see it both in fashion, which we can assume that we've already seen this in fashion. We're going to continue to see it more and more in 2021 and 2022. But really in architecture as well. So this Urban Rust becomes this versatile color that works in both spaces. In this kind of 1940s facade building, it really comes to life by putting that Urban Rust as the entryway to welcome customers into that space. I can imagine what that building would look like without Urban Rust as that kind of entry point. It would just kind of fall by the wayside. So it's a great way to kind of draw people into a space as well. And then whose favorite season isn't fall? Loving all the beautiful colors in fall. So you can see how Urban Rust, I mean, if you didn't think it was, of course, it's drawn from nature, right? Those beautiful leaves changing colors, and that's where that inspiration came from. So here it is.
Bring in the outdoors indoors.
Right.
Beautiful. So this is real deep. So dig deep and you will find the newness that influenced by some greens, inspired of trash heap selves to create beauty from whatever we find wherever we find. Real deep is a color enigma. You'd expect that instead. Next slide. Sorry, can you guys hear me okay?
You're cutting out a little bit on my end.
Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, you're just cutting out a bit.
Let's see here. I'm going to turn off one of my internets to make sure that helps maybe.
You hear me back now. Yeah.
Beautiful. And one thing I wanted to note as well is at the very bottom of each color, you'll see industries. And it'll either say fashion or interiors or all industries. And that just means that this color is a color that all industries are saying that they are going to be using. So for this real deep color, this is one of the colors that everybody loved and everyone sees that they're going to use. So as you can see here, real deep is a color that we find in the aquariums. Nice, deep, dark, rich. And as you'll expect to see it in interiors, you'd think it would really make the room a lot darker. But it's actually created quite an intimate setting here. So it really accents the colors. You can see some rust in there as well. You can see some paper bag in there. And then having the darker color on the ceiling really brings this room together. And it creates such an intimate setting. It's so beautiful, so cozy. And I love the idea of having that pop of color on the roof.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I think it's neat that you tied in the fact that you've got paper bag in there, you've got the Urban Rust in there, and you don't have to use Urban Rust as the main color. You can use it on the picture frames, right? And then have, you know, paper bag as the furniture there, just to kind of ground the space as well. So absolutely,
just subtle contrasting colors. And here it's obviously used in automobiles. It's so luxurious here. With the metallic finish, it really, really gives it that luxurious feel. Absolutely. That's actually my car, so.
Oh.
Lucky number 16.
Yeah. Best be going on a trip out west so I can go take a ride in that car. So the next color in the color palette is called Becoming. So a really beautiful, warm off-white that really knows no time. This is a color that works, you know, for every year, year after year. This is a color that we kind of are drawn to. It really has the ability to adapt to its surroundings, kind of like subtle dust floating through kind of a beam of light. And it's, you know, how they describe it is really saying it's a self-aware color. It's a color that can visually move from one moment to the next and work in so many different interiors. So it's kind of simple as this accessory that can be used in any way, shape, or form. And obviously, as Lindsay mentioned, lots of industries are taking this on. They're saying residential, automotive, fashion, consumer products, textiles, they're all going to be using this beautiful color Becoming. So how are we going to see it come to life in interiors? I mean, this is a no-brainer. You can see Becoming all over this room, right? You can see paper bag introduced here. You can see Becoming as well. So beautiful is both a paint color, as a natural flooring option. Becoming is a really more complex than you think that it is because it can be used in so many different ways. And it's really adaptable color. We truly expect that this will be one of the most used colors for both 2021 and 2022. And then, of course, this is a beautiful way to use it in exterior. So you can really see it in the natural stone in this temple and how it really parades Becoming all over the place. So again, you can choose that whether it's in your flooring, choosing a natural stone design, whether that's in a luxury vinyl product like Karndean or in the natural product as well. You can see that come to life with stone. This next color, are you guys ready for it? Here we go. So the next color here is wow.
My screen's not showing it. There we go. Here's wow. So bold. It's fearless. It's exciting. It's a bright green. It's infused with yellow. You know, this one screams nature to me. Like, yes, it's bold and it's out there, but you also see this everywhere, especially in the springtime. It definitely draws attention no matter where it appears, as it's an inspirational green of creativity and energy. Our color story really took a sharp turn right in the inclusion of wow, I'd say. But we needed a very fresh and impactful green in the new forecast to balance some of those deeper hues that we were seeing. It definitely screams activity, motion, fun, and I think it really says new life as well.
Absolutely. I think we need to change the plant in your background to get something a little brighter so we can fit into that color palette. So
this is my poor tree. She's sad. If anyone knows how to take care of fig trees, let me know. Okay, beautiful. So we toned it down a little bit here and by adding a little bit of white, and that creates a tint of the color wow. It's definitely softer. It's more easily lived with as the focal point. I'm not sure if you'd want the full spectrum of wow as your focal point, but I think it's really stunning here, and it brings a really unique calmness to the room. I love it with the contrast of the real plants in there as well, and the different colors on the bookshelf. It's something a little different and definitely brings the outdoors indoors.
Absolutely. So we're jumping right into our next color story. Into beach. I don't know why my slide went new. I'm not our next color story. So we're going into Beechwood. This is our last one here. So Beechwood is still from the Beautiful Waste color story. So you guys are obviously on the West Coast. You guys know Beechwood. I don't even need to explain it. You guys see this all the time, gathered along the coastline. It's this beautiful warm gray that appears in all of the beechwood along the coastline. So beechwood's really nature's beautiful waste, and that's why it fits perfectly into this color story. So it's really prized for this kind of, you can use it in furnishings and in sculptures, and now we're going to see it as well in different ways in interiors. So the first one here, we can show you guys how it looks in a beautiful kitchen. So this is obviously found in the flooring. Again, another Karndean floor here. This is Urban Spotted Gum from our night tile collection. And it's done here in a herringbone pattern. So you can really see how the linear grain pattern of this collection, of this design, kind of shows you all those shades and all those tints of beechwood and how it comes to life. And it really gives this kind of dramatic monochromatic look, moving from light to dark within each plank and within this striking color of beechwood. And then, of course, we couldn't not see it in paint. So, of course, you can see it here behind the bathtub. Again, more of a shade, so adding that black or gray to make it a little bit of a darker color. But you can see it here and how great that would look. I mean, amazing little, probably a hotel to have. Most people don't have a bathtub in their normal bedroom, but probably in a hotel that's a little bit more realistic. And then of course in all the sandy beaches, it's really being pulled from nature. Again, if you can't, Lindsay and I keep saying that, pulled from nature, and that's really what color does. So now we're moving on to the next color story. Sorry for my mistake there before. So the next color story we have here is called Commit Less. So if you can imagine by what the name of this story is, it's really that we've become kind of a commitment phobic nation, if you will. So what set the stage for that? Why are we, afraid of commitment? And really it's, political unrest, it's unsettled economies, it's no clear vision of, our long-term futures, how that's changed with work, with the COVID-19 pandemic. So many different things are changing, and it's making everybody a little bit more commitment phobic, if you will. So what are the good things of that? What has come from that? Obviously, you'll see that millennials are moving from buying to renting. They're choosing to rent. And one of the great things that comes from that, they're not having to pay for the repairs if something goes wrong in their apartment, but also they're not locked into a 30-year mortgage or locked into one location. They can be a bit more nomadic, if you will, and they can move from one space to the next, even within a city, within a country, or across country. So going to different places and really being able to live an exciting life that's full of, the unknown at the end of the day. So instead of turning being commitment phobic into a stressful thing, they've turned it into an exciting thing that they can move around and be a little bit more free. One of the examples as well of how we've done that is that car companies are now creating a subscription service. So you don't actually have to get locked into one car for a 3-year lease. You can trade out cars throughout the year on a subscription service. So in case you're looking for a car, BMW's doing that, Ford's doing that, Jaguar is doing that, unless you want to step it up like Lindsay's car you saw earlier. You have that flexibility, which is great. So there's a lot of upside to being commit less, and we're going to show you the 6 colors that fit into this color palette and how it fits into the commit less culture.
Beautiful. Here's a little sneak peek of the colors.
And I think you guys recognize this color, and Lindsay's going to dive right back into it here.
Absolutely. Here it is again. Wow. So it was so popular with the CMG forecasting workshops that it actually made it into 2 of our 3 stories. The freedom that this color signifies was really a natural fit for commitless. Of course, it was first introduced through the Beautiful Waste story, and here we're seeing it again. So it's definitely a punched up color. You can find it in its purest form in nature, which we saw on those previous slides. But then again, you can also play with, peroxide to show it off as a shocking hair color, or if you're, looking for attention of some sort, it's really your color. It screams, wow, and that's what the color is.
Absolutely. I can see this using a lot in education as well, for like around kids using this color in education, whether it be carpet tiles or textiles in the room. This is a great color for that.
Yeah, it really grabs your attention.
Another color. I think, Lindsay, was this one your favorite color from the collection?
Yes.
You really fell in love with this one. So powered. So it's obviously a rich, empowered red that really evokes the feeling of luxury cars and material. Maybe that's why you like it so much, Lindsay, that luxury car that you saw earlier. So this color really, yeah. So this color provides a sense of security in an uncertain world where you just can roll up, wrap up in this beautiful, empowered color. So obviously you can see it in fashion. This is something, I think I'm wearing it right now. You can see this color come up in life and fashion. Of course, in the automotive industry, you're going to see this color all over luxury vehicles. And then how you might see it in interiors. This will be probably closer to 2022 that you're going to see this really come to life in interiors. But it is the celebration of this rich, dark, easy on the eyes, luxury color. So in interiors, you can see it here in these beautiful bar stools, this kind of velvet look there. So again, just playing on that luxurious color and using it in these velvet kind of modern bar stools here. So, and then, I mean, if the sunset doesn't tell it all, again, pulling from nature, that's where these colors are coming from, as well as in the cafe chairs.
Beautiful. I really love this one as well. Urban Monarch. It's a symbol of freedom afforded by our current nomadic lifestyles, allowing us to constantly seek new experiences. It's a transitional yellow, so it definitely brings warm, subtle oranges, and it can be used as a soothing color or to make a really big, bold statement. It screams, be happy. So think sunflowers, daffodils, monarch butterflies, and it really, you know, all of these things from nature, they capture the color perfectly.
Absolutely. Did you say sunflowers?
There we go. So you'll see it here in the sunflower, and then again in this this dining room. So you'll see it in the chairs. It really helps balance a striking paint color as well on the opposite wall to create a very warm and welcoming environment. So I love that they used blue and orange, so contrasting colors here, and then with a little bit of mix of the urban monarch. And you might also notice some of our core lock is on the ground there. So that is the shadow oak. And that one has, you know, subtle blue grays in it as well. So to go up against more of a yellow orange goes perfectly because you do, again, see those contrasting colors.
Absolutely.
And oh my God, there's my other car. I can't believe you used all my photos. So if you had any doubt, of course, it's going to be a cross industry favorite. So yeah, my other car is here, crazy. And here you can see it in a contemporary powder room. So you see it kind of in those pots below. You see it on the wall there. I love the design of it. So contemporary, so chic, very opulent. It's a beautiful color.
Absolutely. And on to the next. So we have uprooted here. So again, we're talking about not being tethered to maybe a house, maybe not being tethered to a car, we're talking about being commitless. This is, you know, exactly what this color is. It's uprooted. So we no longer wish to be tethered to time, to possessions, to spaces, and we want to try to give that up, and we use uprooted to do that. So it's kind of this shadowed red blue, and it really transitions nicely in so many different spaces. I'm so excited to show you the next slide because I'm absolutely in love with it. And I think it's maybe because we like that powered luxury color and that velvet. But you can see this whether it's in, you know, bridal wear for bridesmaids. You're going to see this color all over. And if you're in a commercial, this is obviously in a really cool industrial bar setting, and you can see it in all the furniture here. So in that beautiful velvet and that kind of plush look, which is nice. So another way to do that. So the color is definitely not too intense to use in interiors, and it can be paired with other jewel tones and really kind of carry the room into this like perfection palette. And it could be this kind of restful, calming color as it comes together.
Beautiful. All right, next color is Upgrade. This is a complex red-based blue, and it really calms our fears of the unknown. It's a hue that illustrates changes in consumerism, allowing for unlimited change while benefiting the greater good with less waste. Upgrade can shift towards a deep purple blue. Think about, you know, blueberries, or it can go to an extreme value, shifting towards like an electric blue. I think next slide will show both of these colors. So here we have the natural blueberry blue, and then in this club scene, you see it as an electric blue as well. It really depends on whether you want a high intensity or a muted color. In either case, there's definitely the tone of a deep purple, so very, very calming. And here you'll see it making a statement. So Upgrade pictured here in the main color, as the main color in the custom carpet there. It really sets the stage for a dramatic ballroom. I can see, you know, so many beautiful events happening here, and it just sets the stage for such a beautiful setting. The same color is used on this bed just for, you know, the throw pillows, and you can also see it on the back wall there. I love seeing pops of colors in things like throw pillows because, as the story is, it's commitless, right? It's something that's easily changeable. So you could have, you know, these pop of colors and have it something a little bit easier to change, like a pillow, like a throw. So I love seeing it like that in the scene.
Absolutely. I wish that's what my bedroom looked like.
So clean.
So clean, luxurious. It's clearly a hotel. So the next color here is called Human. So it's really that mid-tone orange influenced brown that represents that kind of human connection to earth and to each other, which you can see represented in this photo. So it's a tactile brown that stands up to strong usability in the rental world while still being touched by so many humans. So it's a color that's going to, if you will, hide dirt and grime and things like that, which is perfect for, like we said, those rental spaces and being commit less. Oh, of course, we have to have a picture of a puppy. So if it doesn't get more human than this puppy, it really speaks volumes of his big brown eyes. But let's bring this color inside. And you can see it here in that rough sawn wood accent wall. So you can see, again, different tints and different shades of that human color in that accent wall, all natural, just different woods. So it's a great use of using natural materials and still getting those palettes or those colors from the palette. So just, you don't always have to use it with paint chips or with fabric and that kind of stuff, as you can pull it out with natural materials. And of course, it's going to lend itself very well to a luxury vinyl plank as we mimic hardwood and natural materials there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it's really this complex color that can show off also in a metallic finish. So I hope this is showing up on your screen as well as it is on mine. But you can see that it does show up with a bit of a metallic finish so that you can make it kind of flow between vintage mode or contemporary mode, but it's definitely going to be a hot color, probably closer to 2022.
Awesome. And this is our final color story. This one is called Time Warp. So we find ourselves in a 24/7 time warp society. Our traditional concept of time is changing as we move beyond set time zones and co-work from global office-less workspaces. The 2020 pandemic initiated this transition and gave time a new worth. Changing work systems had to emerge to accommodate stay-at-home orders. And what we discovered was an untethered workforce able to conserve time with no commutes, fewer interruptions. That is, if you didn't have dogs or kids or significant others around, and flexible hours in which to get the job accomplished. What employers discovered was that motivated workers don't need the constraints of an office setting. Flexibility creates better work, and remote workers are gifted with the ability to innovate without boundaries. Mediocre work ethics won't survive this transition, so employers are left with the best and the brightest contributors. Coordinating efforts using technology is no problem, as there are so many platforms nowadays to connect the workforce, like we're doing right now. You know, these CEUs would regularly be in person, but because of today's technology, we're able to share this with you and connect with you guys over Zoom, which is phenomenal. Finally, we're able to align work schedules to be in sync with our natural circadian rhythms. So Europeans, as a lot of you will know, achieved their work-life balance decades ago, and Canadian workers are now really desiring and demanding the same. The standard 8-to-5 work week may become a thing of the past. Finally, we are able to align work schedules to be in sync with our natural circadian rhythms, like I said, and Virgin Media studies predicted that by 2022, 60% of office-based employers and employees will regularly work from home, thanks to technology and cloud computing. 60%, that's a ton of workers. This shift actually frees up time to participate more fully in our family lives and our personal lives. And we're no longer going to have to be forced to choose between, you know, the commitment of work versus family. Conservation of time, energy, and natural resources is a win-win situation for all of us and for the world. So let's get into the colors. There they all are. Love this palette.
Absolutely. I think this one might be my favorite palette in terms of the colors that are in it. I think they just bring such a nice, like, softer tone than some of the other ones with the pop of wow and the pop of like the rust color. So I think that these are just a really nice, calm collection and palette. So you might recognize, yeah, absolutely. You might recognize a couple of colors that lended itself again to multiple color stories, but there's some really nice new colors in this palette as well. So Becoming, we've seen this one before. We talked about this already, about this warm off-white that really knows no time and works in so many different spaces. It's why it was so easy to find photographs for these different PowerPoint slides, because it just works in so many different interiors, and you'll be able to find it in so many different spaces. So you can see it here. Becoming is this warm, welcoming color with kind of a touch of nostalgia to it, if you will. The wall color in this picture, as well as the cabinetry, was painted. Even the painted chairs really are all wearing this color, Becoming. And what's nice about that is sometimes, at least recently, in the past years, we were doing all cool tones, right? White kitchens, gray countertops, and it was all in cool tones. And it's wonderful to see that we can still have that really light, fresh space, that feels like, even if you don't have as much natural light as you wish that you could, it feels light and fresh, but it has warmth to it, which is really wonderful. And then you can see it here in tile. So we saw becoming on that temple earlier. So we were talking about that natural stone. So here you can see it come to life in this beautiful limestone color, actually from the Art Select collection. These beautiful panels from Karndean. So if you need any samples of this, let Lindsay know. But yeah, it's this multi-shade LVT stone, as you can see with those speckles throughout it. So again, it's almost bringing in that paper bag color we saw from the previous color story, or from two previous color stories.
All right, this one, Reconnect. So it's an organic yellow-based green, representative of the bridge between artificial and natural realities. This evokes creative thought processes and accountability. And again, all industries were interested in this color. Amazing. So again, I've said this a million times and I'll keep saying it. Here you see it in nature. So it's really well represented here in this beautiful tangled root system that nature made. And in the structured shutters, say that 5 times fast, that play beautifully against two of our other intro colors, which are Urban Rust and Urban Monarch. As you see, you know, time and time again, a lot of these colors just play really well together.
Absolutely. I love that so many times you can be scared to play with that bold of colors together, and that how you kind of like, oh, I'll just have one pop of color, but you can mix colors that are traditionally a pop color together and create a beautiful palette.
Absolutely. Trying something a little different.
Yeah.
All right, this color can be quite ethereal depending on how it's used. So the rugs here and the chairs in this office setting used the color to bring nature indoors. Really, really love this. It's so calm, it's so contemporary. I love what they did with the windows as well. And then the pop of color isn't overwhelming, but it definitely, as you know, I said before, it brings that ethereal vibe inside.
Absolutely. And on to our next color here. So Synergos is the way forward. So it's all about balance. So the your well-being is really the result of having balance between work life, like Lindsay was explaining when she was talking about this story time warp, that you want to have balance in everything that you do. So this working from home almost gave us that. It was a bit scary at first, but now that we're a little bit more comfortable and we have these iCloud services and Zoom and all these wonderful platforms, you can have that balance in your life. So the destination is still the same. The path is different on how we're going to get there. So we need to find our inner peace and tranquility every day. And it's stronger than ever. I mean, you're working in the same place that you're living. So trying to be able to set those boundaries and separate the two. So this is a great color to use. It's kind of this complex grade yellow red with a gentle mood to it. It's nice and soft as well. So you can see it here in this gorgeous living room. The designer really used this color perfectly as they assembled all these interior goods. They're all wearing this color, which is fantastic, and really creating this monochromatic interior design with the whites and all these different shades and tints of the Synergos color. So the striped wallpaper behind the staircase there, the velvet clad sofa, they're all perfect examples of how flexible this color really is and in how many different spaces you can use it. And then, of course, you're going to see this in architecture. What's old is new, and what's new is timeless. So this color is an interior color, but it's also worn architecturally, of course, and stunning as always.
Beautiful New York.
You used to live there, Lindsay?
My old neighborhood.
Are you getting a bit nostalgic? Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be there right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, the next color, Recharged. So this is a very warm shaded yellow red. And it's an artful symbol of our life balance created by officeless, unplugged co-working spaces. It pairs really well with shaded greens and earthy pinks. And I'd also pair it with like warm yellow golds like you're seeing in that photo behind. Beautiful. So, I mean, this color really can do anything. I love that it's in her hair, it's on her jacket. You can see it in fashion, interiors, exteriors. I mean, and even, like I said, her hair color. It's definitely, it's brilliant. It's unforgettable. It's such a strong color.
Absolutely.
And pictured right, you see some of those ancient buildings. So you'll see it in architecture. And it's, with the magnificence of the color, you really get to see it in all of its glory. Europe is definitely bursting with history and old buildings wearing recharged in its sepia-toned, time-weathered glory. And then to the left, you see it in more of a contemporary application of this bold color. And I love how they put it in as like more of a metallic.
Absolutely.
Such a cool space.
Mm-hmm.
And we're seeing that more and more often as well, too, with that kind of industrial look. So you'll see a ton of these colors in industrial applications. And it's one of the more trendy looks, I'd say, coming up.
For sure, yeah, and that warm glow to typically an industrial can feel a bit cool, so giving that warm glow to the space. Absolutely.
So true.
So this color, Connected, of course, this plays into Lindsay's color story. Of course, they named all these colors quite well. So we're untethered, but we are still connected. I mean, we're always searching for connection in every way that we communicate with people, through social media, through Zoom meetings, through meeting in socially distanced gatherings. That's what we're doing right now. But we are searching for that connection. So this is a really magical purple blue that's inspired by the light of all the universe in the time warp working hours. So it's kind of a meditative powers, and it empowers these innovative solutions. So Connected is, to me, one of the nicest colors in this collection, just because it has this really neat way of lending itself to, like I said, that meditative, calm state, but it still feels powerful enough that you feel like you can handle everything with this color.
Absolutely.
So we can see how it comes to life in these beautiful natural settings. We can't say it enough. We're going to say it 5 more times.
At least.
But you can see it here, obviously, in the night sky, in this beautiful thunderstorm. If anyone loves watching thunderstorms as much as I do, this is a great color that kind of comes to life in there. And you're going to see it in interiors in a few different ways. So it's really a chameleon color, as you can see here, just because of the way the light hits this wall, how different the wall and the color changes throughout it. So lighting is going to change the color. So the red undertones of Connected are really brought out by the lighting in the upper part. So you can really see that red kind of come to life by that upper plant box there. Sorry, lost the word there. And then the actual color there is really represented best in the bottom half. You can really see how that color comes to life in the bottom half.
I love that. And I think so many times people use wall colors and they're always thinking light, like you have to put white or, cloud white or like light blue. So I love it when people kind of take more of a chance and put something like Connected on the walls. It looks so good. And it still is very warm and it's inviting. It's such a beautiful way to add color.
Absolutely.
Next color is Uprooted. So you guys have seen this one before. It's the shadow red blue, and it's been adopted by all industries in the CMG group. So let's take a look at a few other ways to use it. Alrighty, so you can really take this color and get creative with it. As it's applied as an antiquing finish to aged wood beams. The ceiling here is absolutely stunning. I love how you can see it in the upholstered chairs here as well. There's definitely a lot going on in this room, but with the little pops of color here and there, it looks very classy. It looks comfy, and it's a great way of using Uprooted there. And the next one here, you see it as an interior paint color. And again, seeing something other than white on the walls, I love it. I think it's a little bit different, and definitely accenting it with a lighter color helps. But don't be afraid to use this color in bold ways. Like Michelle said, this color palette is meditative. It's beautiful, it's strong, it's bold, but also don't be afraid to go ahead and use it. I also love how it's used on the background of that bed as well. Such a calm but bold space. Beautiful.
Absolutely. I love the jewel tones of this room, like connecting it with that kind of red orange as well.
Totally. Urban rust.
Urban rust coming in. So
it's everywhere.
Yeah, of course, we're going to see mist again. As Lindsay mentioned, this is a key color that CMG pulled out for 2021 and 2022. So there's no way it wasn't going to make it into 2 color stories here. So Lindsay mentioned it really is this kind of cleansing breath, this overcome sense of seamy deterioration that redefines this kind of pale blue. So it's in a bunch of different interiors shown here. So I wanted to show you this first one. So this is a really neat, it's almost like a hotel lobby restaurant kind of seating area. But you can see it here in a lot of different tones and shades. So you can take it and really play it up in its softer tone, and it fits beautifully into this kind of transitional design, working from one space to the next. The draperies, the chairs, the throw pillows, all of them really incorporate that key color and bring it to life. And then of course you can see it here again in a beautiful kind of hotel setting here. But again, I love about this picture, you probably recognize Becomings in this picture. You can see paper bag in this picture. You can probably even see human in this picture, maybe a little bit. So what's really nice about this color palette is you can see how you can use different colors in different ways and when to use which as the pop of color. So in this case, it was used here in this little seating area at the end of the bed. And in the headboard a little bit as well. So here we go. This is the palette. So these are all the colors that Lindsay and I spoke about. So you can see how they've come together. I think sometimes when you see them all separate, you don't know how they're going to connect. But here you can see that it really does make a full palette of really exciting, dynamic colors that really have the right balance between these soft neutrals and these kind of punchier colors like wow. And they really can play well with those classic colors, white, beige, black, and gray. All of these can kind of play well with it. And then as Lindsay mentioned, you add the white to the color or you add the black and you get your tints and your shades. So hopefully these are some new colors and some new tools so that you guys can create some memorable interiors in 2021 and 2022, and that these will be ingredients that will be added to all the elements that you guys design with. It's this and your talent, and you're good to go for the years to come. So we'll have that. So it's been, the 2020 pandemic has had quite an effect on our lives and how we're going to move forward. Our freedom, our families, our health all became true priorities. And all three of these center points really were severely threatened in the last little bit. So we're never going to sacrifice those or take those for granted again. As Lindsay mentioned, this work-life balance is really paramount in our well-being, in our happiness, in our health. And we always want to keep our health and our happiness in the forefront. It always should be that ultimate goal. So we hope that with color, with design, with work, and with play, that you guys are able to have an amazing 2021, 2022, turn this around and create some beautiful interiors with this.
All right. Thank you all so much for taking the last 45 minutes and spending them with us. I had so much fun showing you guys these colors. I know Michelle did as well. This is my favorite CEU to do. And here is all of my contact information. So please feel free to shoot me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email. I would love to hear from you. If you need those CEU credits, I'm happy to get that all set up for you as well. And I'll send you over the actual palette. So if you guys need any of those colors specifically, you can let me know, but we'll give you the palette to have on hand as well. But yeah, I know just by the names I've met most of you. So thank you all for coming. And those of you who I have not yet met, I really hope I get to meet you in the future. Don't worry, I will put a mask on and I will stay 6 feet apart.
So I just wanted to check if we have any questions in the chat box that we can answer, because we're moving into that Q&A section. So,
hello, Michelle. Hello, Lindsay.
Hi.
I am back. I've been moderating it, and I do not see any questions. Okay. Oh, it's a fairly well attended event, and maybe someone wants to unmute themselves and feel free to ask some questions. We still have several minutes for our timeline.
Absolutely, yeah. If anyone wants to jump on,
just say hi too, or
say
if you have
hi,
a good dad joke.
share your opinions, make a dad joke, or if you've used any of these colors already. So if you're trendier and already got to use these colors, or if there's colors that you can imagine using in your space, let us know.
Oh, there we go. We have one. Colors are so powerful, bright. Our life, mood, behavior. Great presentation. Thanks for sharing and highlighting role and impact. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I thought that was a question, but I'm just doing my own heart over here.
We'll take it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you so much for coming. All right. Yeah, if there's no questions, feel free to go about your day. Again, thank you so much, and we will be in touch.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lindsay will pass that up. If you need her contact information, she'll be emailing you, but in case you need it, it's there. And if you need that CEU, we'll definitely get that over to you.
Well, thank you, Lindsay and Michelle. If you wish, I could close the session.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, if it looks like we don't have any questions coming in, I mean, I'm loving the compliments coming in, so let's keep going. No, but I think that's great. And like I said, if anyone has any questions at all, please feel free. I love to chat, so give me a call.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you.